Hi everybody, this is Rita Holmes, independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. If you see me looking to the side, I am setting up my iPad so that I can see and make sure that I am on screen with you guys. So I'm setting that up real quick, and I can't do it until I start my video, so it's like, okay. But anyway, here I am. I thought I'd show my face today. Last week I didn't do it because I was in my pajamas, but don't tell anybody, okay? I just want to remind you that Stampin' Up! Has a 20% off sale going on right now, and there's 13 bundles that you can buy, and there is the mini Stampin' Emboss machine. So if you need to take a look at those, you don't have a demonstrator, you can go to my website and my online store and take a look at those there. If I can help you in any way, I'd love to if you don't have a demonstrator. Also, if you've ever thought about joining Stampin' Up, I'd love to be that person to help you with that too. So, you know, it's just a fun thing to do, especially if you love to stamp and craft and do all that kind of stuff. So, they do have the Waves of the Ocean promotion going on, which the three papers, there's foil paper, DSP, and then there's jewels. Those are as long as supplies last. The stamp set and the die cuts will be in the new catalog. I also want to tell you that in our updates that we get from Stampin' Up! Weekly, that on April 1st, shipping charges will go up. Instead of $6.95 in the US, they'll be $7.95. And instead of 10% from your sales is your after $69.50, because that would be your $6.95, or yeah, $69.50, yeah, $6.95. But after that, it was always 10% of your sales. Now it's going to be $7.95 or 11% of your sales, and that the 11% starts after $73.21. So just wanted to let you know. And also, Stampin' Up! Will be having an increase in prices in their new catalog, which comes out soon. And it's like everywhere else, gas, groceries, anything you want to go and buy, prices are up. Well, Stampin' Up! Felt like they needed to raise theirs because of the cost it's costing them to get things shipped in and different things like that. So, you know, we have to just kind of be aware of those things and know this is our new normal. So anyway, without saying too much else, I am going to turn the camera down, and when I do, you're going to see all of my info. If you need any of that, I do have a host code for this month to use at the online store. I also have my address for my Facebook group that you're more than welcome to join to get all the PDFs off of that I put on here. That the cards I put on here, the PDFs are over in that group in the file section. You are more than welcome to go snag any of those that you would like to have for references for later on, or whatever, for making your card that you're going to be making if you decide to make one of these. So let me turn my camera around and we'll get busy. If you get dizzy during things, just close your eyes. Okay, there we go. I got a scrap piece of paper laying here with this stuff on here. Here's my cards. We are actually going to be making this card that says Create Forever. This is a Barnwood slash Shiplap technique. I saw it on Tina Zink's page, and I did a couple things a little bit differently than what she did, so I thought I would bring it to you and show it to you. I really enjoyed doing this. So I have the card we're doing today. I have a masculine card. I have the basic white cardstock done with the basic gray inks. These two are done with soft suede. So anyway, that is my cards. So let's get busy and I'll show you how to do this. I am going to lay a piece of paper over here real quick. Here was my information if you needed that real quick. You can screenshot it or whatever. And this piece of paper you might want to also, because it's got your scoring lines for both If you want to make a landscape card or if you want to make a portrait style card, these are the dimensions. My PDF, which is over on my Facebook page, has the score marks for this card up here that's in the picture. This is everything I used. This is how I did it. So we're going to get started, and we are going to make one right now. We're going to do this one. And I will explain the which way you lay your cardstock to do each position. Okay, so let's lay this over here. I'll lay this over here as long as it's not in my way. And then let's go ahead and get out a piece. Well, I'm going to cover it all up for a minute because I'm bringing in my scoreboard. I like using my scoreboard because it makes deeper grooves in the paper, which is what I want, than what the paper trimmer does. And I have these little markers. And with the scoreboard, you get 3 of the markers that comes with it, and they are probably in this little section right here when it comes. I had somebody say that they didn't think theirs came with it, so I told them to look in there. Now I have extra ones because Stampin' Up! Used to sell these extra, so they don't do that anymore, so you'd only get 3. But that's okay, you know. But I just thought with me demonstrating this and doing several cards with it, I wanted it to be all marked for me. So when I want to make this card right here, that is going to be landscape style, I have to lay my card stock in a portrait style on here with the short end across. Okay? If I was going to do this card here, I would lay my paper this way. And the reason being, so when you pick it up, your lines would be going across this way. So it just seems funny that you're going to lay it one way so that your card will be shown the other way. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and score this. And like I said, I'll lay that right there. So if you want to take a picture of it. So I'm going to make sure that I kind of heavy-handed on here. I'm going at 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/2 inch, 2 1/4, 3, and 3 3/4. And that is going to make my card go this way. Okay? So if I was going to do, and I'll go ahead and score one, if I was going to do it so I wanted it to be a portrait style card, I would do all of these measurements the same. 3/4, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, 3, 3 1/4, 3 3/4. Oops, I hate when I do that. 3 3/4 and 4 1/2. And I got this one off a little bit. It should have been over here, but that's okay. I messed that up a little bit, but that's how we go, so that you turn it this way. And in the big scheme of things, it probably won't show because I could cover that up. So that's the measurements for that. We're done scoring. We don't need that anymore. And now what we're going to do is we're going to make my shiplap. So I want my card to go this way. We're going to be using this one. And what I do, so I can see my lines good, because I am old and I have eyes that aren't always so good, I'm going to take, and I'm going to, in these indentions, I'm going to just take and make a pencil line. And I'm going to do that on both sides. And then that way I know where I'm lining my paper up to do my ink marks. So I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to hold it up to you. There's my score lines, and then my pencil lines are right here. Can you see that? I hope. But that's how I work mine. So now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a piece of printer paper that I cut the same size. So I'm going to use this end now. And what I do is I line I have those little score lines there and pencil marks, and I line this up just above the score lines. if you can see that. So you can see that score line, and this is just above it. But that pencil mark kind of tells me where I need to go, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my soft suede, that's the color I'm using. Just gonna be using kind of the corner of my ink pad, and I'm just going to slide this across. So I get that marker there. And then I'm going to come up. And don't worry about your pencil lines because those won't be seen by the time we're done. And I'm just going to do this at the other side. Get my fingers out of the way. And you can make this as dark or as light as you want, because that's based on how much you go over it. Tina, in her video, she used the early espresso, so she had hers really dark. I kind of like softer colors, so I wanted mine a little bit softer. So that's what I got. Now you got to make sure you hold on to your paper. Now you could hold your paper down with washi tape or some removable adhesive if you wanted to. I'm like a go for a gusto girl. I'm just put it down and go. Whoops. And see what I get for going? I got a big line there, but that's okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, and I'm going to tip this to the end, and I'm just going to make some streaks. And those white marks, and I'm going to take here, and I'm just going to bring my ink pad in. And I'm going to do the same over here, because I want that really dark on the edge. And no two cards are going to turn out alike, believe me. Oh, look at that. I just brought that all the way up into there. But that's okay. Look at the streaks I got. I love it. On this card here, if you notice, and this ink will lighten up. I have all this up here. I not even know how I got that in there. But look, I've gotten some marks like that. I think it adds character, so I don't worry about all of that. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus. And I'm going to use the sayings Create Forever, which comes out of this Create with Friends. And then I am going to use the Pierced Bloom dies. And that's what I used on this card. Plus the Forever Fern is the leaves. And then, of course, I have a linen bow and stuff. So right now we're going to start with the Create Forever. I thought this would be a nice card to send to you, some of your stamping buddies or whoever. Let me make sure I got, yep, that'll be good. That's how I had it on my last card, so just making sure it's still. So I'm going to ink it up. And the reason why I'm using the Stamparatus is because I want this to be really dark. So I want to stamp over it a couple times. Because when I stamp it the first time, you can see how light it is. And then when I stamp it a couple more times, it'll get really dark for me. I'm going to do it one more time. So I have that really dark. See how dark it got? That's what's good about the Stamparatus. Now I'm going to remove this out of here. And I'm going to take that piece of paper I had and I'm just going to lay it in here, because that will not get all the other stuff so dirty. We don't need that. I'm going to bring in my mint macaron ink, and I'm going to bring in the 2 leaves from the Forever Fern set, and they will mirror each other so that one, you know, you can get them both going the same way. So I'm going to ink that up. Then I'm going to take the other one, ink it, and just kind of match it there, and then my flower will go right there. So let's bring our flower in. I'm going to use that ink again in a second, so I'm going to set it out of the way. Let's go ahead and put a little dot in the flower of some adhesive. You could use a glue dot if you wanted. And then we're going to take the little flower center and we're going to glue that on. And then what I'm going to do, that's all the pop dot we have to, the gluing we have to do, and I'm going to use a dimensional on the back of my flower. I love these pierced bloom flowers. They're like my favorite. And I'm going to just stick that right there on my card. I'm going to go ahead and put a glue dot in my bow. I already pre-made it out of the natural linen thread. Where'd my dot go? Oh, it's still there. Told you I had old eyes. Old eyes are fun to have. They just get in your way all the time. And I'm going to go ahead and put my bow right over here. I like that better over in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and trim my little there we go. And the last thing I'm going to do on it before I put it on is I'm going to take, this is an old, I found this in my stuff, the pearls. They're now packaged different, but I thought, oh, I got to use these pearls up. So we are going to take and stick some pearls on here. It didn't stick. Whoops. And maybe right there. Whoops. There we go. There we go. So that is the front of our card made. I'm going to move this piece. I don't want to get the brown ink on my white card base if I can help it. Of course, I got it on my fingers, I see. Let me just wipe those on my pants a little bit. Do y'all do that? I'm bad about it. Okay, so I'm going to fold that. And I'm just going to take this one I put on with dimensionals. I don't like it as well as I liked it flat. So I'm going to just glue this down. Okay, we got that glued down. Now I'm going to do the inside of the card. And what I did was I took the soft suede and I put another saying. It's from the Forever Fern set. And it says, "To a friend that makes me smile." So we got that. And then I am going to take one of the leaves And I'm going to get the ink off of where we inked up the stem before. And I'm just going to ink the leaf part of this. Make sure I'm in the right ink pad, because I've been known to do that wrong. And I'm going to stamp that right here. And therefore we have a little leaf in there with our saying. So it says, "Create forever to a friend that makes me smile," which I think are cute sayings. So that one used, as I said before, let me close these ink pads up and I'm going to show you what I used on each of the cards. So that card right there had the pierced blooms with these two stamp sets right here. Okay, that's for this card. For this card right here, I used Sunny Sentiments for the saying. And I did the little bird up here and the birds across here. And that is from Sentimental Swirls. And then these are the pierced blooms again. For this card right here, my masculine card, I used the Happiest of Birthdays, the big saying. And I used the trees and the deer from the Grassy Grove. And then this card right here, I'm going to stick it right here on top. That used the thank you stamp in the Sunny Sentiments. And it used the flowers and the butterflies out of the Sentiment Swirls. And the inside of that card, I just added a little flower, leaves. The inside of this one, I went ahead and did a blending brush around to make the paper kind of look rustic like the front. Did some trees. And then, of course, this one, you know that we did the leaf and a saying. And, of course, this one I showed you the little birds going across the bottom. So, anyway, those are the cards I have for you today. It is called the Barnwood Technique, and I put /shiplap because that's what it looks like. And I love it. It's easy, fun to do. Again, I hope you try to make these cards. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back with you soon. Have a blessed day, everyone. Bye.